Hello, Cancer. I'm Ulrich. I'm a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do the philosophical, spiritual, and psychological card reading for the sign of Cancer for the month of January. As always, we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Cancer for the month of January, and these are based on the natural elements in your astrological chart, or for some of you, on your time of birth. These basic elements are air, earth, water, and fire. Now, the 4 objects that you always see on my table are directly connected to those elements. So you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. The subject of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. However, if the object and the related video does not match your first choice, please check the other videos that are immediately connected in the same session. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. Anyway, the matches represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Cancer, here we go for your spiritual philosophical card reading for the month of January. And also I want to add, if you have questions, you can always post them in the comments below. And of course, as soon as I have time, I will answer them. So Cancer, here we go for your card reading. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to the shell or the water group for your spiritual philosophical card reading for the month of January. As the first card here, we see that this card tells us to open our heart. Maybe through the years, our personality, our ego, who we are, it built up some kind of a panzer. Cancer is a panzer, it's protected by a shield, and maybe this shield that we have built for ourselves, it's very hard to penetrate, so we covered up our heart. And here this card tells us here that we need to open our heart again, make ourselves more vulnerable again here. Why we need to do this? Well, probably you miss out of some nice tastes of life here. It's not so very important if it's for yourself or others, but here it says this card that our heart is not open. Here, in general, we are all born with a welcoming heart here, and we have positive expectations of life here, and we expect a positive experience. But maybe some things happen in our life here, and through the way here, we closed our heart. We lost the gift of love, or giving love, or receiving love. And here we see that there are certain needs that we cannot attend anymore. But here, if we open our heart again here, we will be able here to meet certain needs that we have here with this card. If we open up that, at least this is what we are seeing here. Here, this card tells us also that normally some gifts would be able to come to us, but because our heart is closed, it's like we are unable to receive certain graces or gifts that actually need to come to us. It's possible that our panzer is so thick and we are so scared or afraid of pain or being hurt, disappointments here, that we literally close the door for certain people or for certain things to happen in our life. Here, we need to understand here that we are protected by something higher than ourselves here. And maybe because of this closing up ourselves, it causes you more pain. Maybe it's the source of your pain. This is what we are seeing here. And if we open up here, it could relieve us. But our personality, the panzer that we built, with this, we convince ourselves that this is the best thing to do. And we disconnect. We disconnect from the source of life and also from the gifts of our life here. This is what we are seeing here. And here we are asked to take the risk to open our heart again. We don't need to do this at full force at once, but we need to give it at least a chance, because this card tells us also there is a deep wish inside yourself, something you cherish, that you really want. And maybe this wish that you have, you cannot receive it because your heart is closed. So here we are urged to take the risk if you want to receive this thing that is very dear for you. And then it will be able to enter your life. So the only thing you need is to have belief or faith in it. The next card here, it tells us that it's time to restart. We need a new start here. Probably things are not going as expected, or they are not going as well as we like them to be. Maybe your life is complicated. But here we see that related to the next card, that it's time to start over. We need to be grateful for all that we experienced, the bad and the good things, and whatever the current situation is. Here, it's time that we realize that we undo this creation. It's time here that we uncreate. If we brought ourselves in a difficult situation, it doesn't matter. We need to restart. If others or circumstances or worldly circumstances or other people brought us in circumstances, here it says it's time to restart. We need to accept the facts as they are, even if we create them or other creates them. It doesn't matter if it was intentional, unintentional, but here we need to restart. And also this card tells us we need to recognize again our inner strength. It's like we cannot use all the abilities inside ourselves, and we need to ask ourselves, or we need to start asking ourselves certain questions. You need to ask yourself, how or why are things not working for me? Sometimes here, it points also, you need to check that out for yourself. Cancer is ruled by the moon. And sometimes the moon is a circle. It always comes back. That's why it's called the lunar circle or the moon cycle. And here we see that probably certain situations, if you observe them, are always reappearing in your life. And this repetition, that's exactly what you need to cut off. There are repetitions in your life that don't belong there anymore. And this card asks us to get insights in that and try to avoid it. And you need to ask also for yourself, what is this wish that was so dear for me before that I've forgotten about? We need to reconnect here with ourselves. And you need to find your true power of yourself back. Here, it will not be easy sometimes because the personality that we built, it will prevent you from taking this new step. And it would rather be, sometimes we rather be the victim than taking new steps. So you need to take distance here and create new circumstances. You can create, and something here is about to be created for you. New circumstances are about to be created, but you need to be open-minded, open-hearted, ready for it. We need to take responsibilities. If we have taken a wrong path, we need to redirect ourselves here. This is what we are seeing here. And the sooner you will correct this, and you will allow your mind to connect here, these less satisfying conditions here, you can go in a different path. And especially we cannot blame ourselves here. It's very important here that we don't blame ourselves for a current situation, certain situation, because this is the favorite escape route. Don't do that, accept and move on here. This is not a constructive way. We need to think constructive here. If you think it's your fault, this will grow stronger, and you need to get out of that. You need to get out of this circle here. You need to free yourself from this, from these things that were before. You need to let them go. And maybe we have the card here from the higher spirit, the highest spirit. For some of it means their God, the higher spiritual, the universe, whatever applies on you. If you are a religious person or not here, but here we are asked here related to the next card to ask the higher spirit, the God, whatever it is that works for you, to help us, and it will make you happy. So here we need to stop connecting to this old personality, because this confuses us and it brings us more fears. The moon is also, the moon has two sides. It has a very beautiful side. It's very creative, and it lets us express all that we have learned in life. The other side, the dark side of the moon, is it brings fears. The moon can make us fearful. If we have sometimes dreams at night, this is the fearful side of the moon, the side that we fear. But here we need to have a conversation with the higher spirits, with our God or whatever what works for you. And we need to ask our personality or our ego to be silent here. We need to go back to what created us. Here, this is what we are seeing, and we need to listen to this higher mind. Here it says there is an availability and it's waiting for you. It's like the news is, we see this here the same again, and this comes back here, that something new or news is about to come to you, and this will bring out your authentic self. Here, the soft person that is under the Cancer Panzer need to come out again. This is what we are seeing here. And if you let it come out again, if you are willing to slowly open the door again, then we see here that we will receive also some guidance. Here we are ready to receive guidance. You will be guided here, but you just need to watch the signs here sometimes. Anyway, it means also that you, not only you yourself want to change, but also something above you wants to make these changes with you. But the problem here is the Panzer, the ego, our personality that we build up. So stop feeding this and choose the other path. This is what we are seeing here. And the answers are not in the ego, the answers are in the new road. This is what we are seeing. That's where you will find the answers and the way out. So Cancer, this is all for the water group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this spiritual, philosophical, and psychological card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are connected here. If you're into work, business card readings, you can find those also. And of course, the classic Lenormand card readings. Anyway, Cancer, I want to thank you for your time. And please don't forget to subscribe. And I thank you for doing so. Bye-bye, Cancer, and see you next time. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to the Aerosol or the air group for your philosophical, psychological, and also spiritual card reading. As the first card here, probably some things happened in our life. Maybe we are about to say sorry to somebody. Maybe some things happened in your life. Sometimes also with points that maybe we refuse to say sorry. Maybe we made up a list of excuses, maybe explanations to justify certain behaviors in our life. Sometimes this can be part of our personality. We locked ourselves up. We built the Panzer. Cancer is a Panzer. Sometimes also we ignore the influences we have on others. Maybe there are certain influences we have on others. Mostly with this card, these are not positive influences that we have. We defend ourselves, we keep to ourselves here. But here our higher mind says, or this card tells us, we should actually not hesitate to apologize for certain mistakes. It's possible that it's an accumulation of both parties here, but this card is here for you, and it tells you if you're able to here, we are urged here to make an apology for certain mistakes that have been made. Anyway, here the higher selves or something in ourselves here knows that we are all students of life here. The purpose here of life is that we, of course, that we learn and that we make mistakes, and it's an essential part of our process as human beings here. Our mind is very much alive with this card here, and here we are asked also to be present in the moment here. We are asked to be present in the moment and ask for certain forgiveness, offer certain apologies here. This is what we are seeing here with this card. Also, this card urges us not to wait with this apology. It's time here now, and we need to follow our higher mind for mistakes that we have made. We need to acknowledge these mistakes here. Sometimes also it means that we ourselves are suffering from certain things. We are suffering maybe because we are not apologizing here. It's possible that we have spoken harshly to some people here. Maybe we gave them reasons to doubt, maybe people in our surroundings here. Maybe we dampened some people the spark of their fire. Maybe you have dampened somebody's joys in life here. This is what we are seeing here. Sometimes also this points to jealousy that we could experience here, and we could have said harsh words because of that. Sometimes also it points to disrespectfulness. So you make out for yourself here where exactly you are. Anyway, some apologies need to be offered here. We cannot shut out our mind any longer here. It's not our intention here to harm people with this card. We need to come on the same vibration here. We need to let our own light shine, but also that of others. It's probably causing you some pain that you cannot move forward here. So follow your higher mind. If this is necessary, try to find a consensus, try to say, I'm sorry with this card here. Here our ego or personality probably prevents us here from accomplishing this important task here that we are about to do. Sometimes also these excuses, they deplete us from ourselves here. So stop making excuses to yourself and just do the right thing here with this card. The next card here, it tells us that it's time to turn out the light, turn on the light in our life here. Here we see that probably sometimes it points to a low self-esteem. And here it points sometimes that our ego always points us to certain flaws that we have. But here our higher mind, it's actually focused on the bigger pictures. And if you are focused on the bigger pictures, this will lead you to more perfection. A perfection or a life that is more perfect for you. Maybe your personality sees as everything as being your fault, but actually our higher mind sees this as a process and progress. So there are actually two opposites here. Sometimes our ego makes us separate, we draw in ourselves being alone, and then the other side again here, it's like a little bit like black and white here, and often the beginnings are that we see the gray zone here, and here the ego wants to separate us, wants to keep us alone, and the higher selves here, it has our higher spirit, it's connected to all life, to everything here. This is what we are seeing here. We are a part of the bigger whole self, everything, nature. It's all included here. Our ego sees darkness and our mind sees light here. This is what we are seeing here. But here we are asked here to examine our current situation, see what we can improve to reach a certain form of our higher self. And questions are asked here towards us. And these questions are, what is working in my life? What is working well? What is not working? What am I learning in my life? What is improving in my life right now? So these are the questions here that this card asks you. Here, if we look at things in the spirit of our higher mind, you will realize that maybe your self-criticizing is not actually necessary. And if you look at it in a broader perspective, you will see everything is actually quite well. But sometimes our personality or our ego that we build for ourselves, it cannot look around the corner. It cannot see the bigger perspective here. And we should turn deeper into ourselves and see the real value of experiences in your life. And if you look a little bit deeper, you will see that actually everything is quite well if you apply the previous card here. The second card is that sometimes we have certain fears. This is all a little bit in the context of fear, this reading. And here this card tells us actually you are not afraid. What does this mean? Well, our personality, it builds certain fears. It makes us withdraw. It makes us fear life. It makes us fear everything in life. And even if there is no reason, our ego, our personality finds a reason to be scared here. Here we need to ask ourselves the question, am I really afraid? And what are you afraid of? Here we need to listen to our mind's response, and probably if you think for a while, you will find out that you are not afraid at all. It's actually the opposite. But your ego, it makes you believe, or your personality, it makes you believe that you are afraid. Here we need to take up the challenge of the moment, and your higher personality wants you to take the lead here. Anyway, you need to, this card tells us we need to get rid of the habit of being afraid of everything around you. You will sometimes also with this card, we find ourselves that we are always in a haste. And here we need to see that we can only be in a haste if we are guided on the right path. So we need to follow this path that is laid out for us, and we can do this in a haste, but we need to see first that we are on the right path, road here. We need to trust our mind here, and if there are certain fears in our life, we should actually smile at them. You see here David and Goliath here, the giant. Actually here we should smile at that, because there's no real monsters for us waiting in dark corners who are ready to jump on you here. These are actually mere shadows of the past here, shadows of our imagination. Mostly they are born out of fear, or fears that are a long time ago. And our ego, it tries to hide actually the stronger you. So get rid of these habits of being afraid, and put yourself on the new road of adventure and confidence here. There is no need here for having fears here. You need to start appreciating that in the end, you are not afraid. They are just the shadows here that are making you afraid, but actually you're already here with this combination to move on. Anyway, Cancer, this is all for the air group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical spiritual card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you are in work card readings, business card readings, or the classic Lenormand card readings, you can also find those on my channel. Anyway, Cancer, I want to thank you for your time you spend on my channel. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for doing so. Bye-bye, Cancer, and thank you. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for your spiritual, philosophical, and psychological card reading. As the first card here that we are seeing here, this card tells us to give more. This card probably tells us that we have certain dreams in our life that we want to achieve. This dream actually needs, you see the squirrels here. If we want to realize a certain dream, we need to probably do some efforts to put it into reality. Here, this card tells us not to give up certain desires that you have here, because you would have a bad feeling, or you would be discouraged by current situation or current results. But here what is asked from us here is some distance. We need to assess this situation and the efforts that we put in here in a realistic way. And maybe with this card, it tells us that we didn't put in sufficient efforts to come where we dream to be. There are several answers here. Maybe you need more time. Maybe you need to put in more energy. Maybe patience is required. Maybe some education is required, or maybe you need to approach the situation in a different way. Or actually, it's possible also that you cannot come over a certain situation and you need the help from somebody else or from others here. Anyway, there are certain things here that prevent you for going, achieving your dream here. Even though we do great efforts, that if not all all the elements are required here, we cannot make our dream come true. And here we need some make some adjustments here. Anyway, also if you have certain disappointments, also we should not be afraid of these disappointments. If you feel discouraged, this is our ego. We build up a personality, and if things go wrong, sometimes we think, oh, I just let it go. But here our mind tells us not to give up. Don't give up on a dream, because you can't put this thing into a reality. But you need to see that you have all the ingredients. We cannot bake the pie if we don't have all the ingredients. This is what we are seeing here. So also sometimes here, we are asked to apply hope for our determination and for staying on our true path and the things that we really desire and real want. Anyway, we need to be prepared here to nurture our purpose, and we need to embrace these things, also the disappointments also. Anyway, if we put in the right efforts here, we will see that we are not willing actually to give up. It could be that we have frustrations right now, but you will see that if you put your passion in it, then you will see the reflection of your true self. So don't let your personality or the ego that you build up to yourself to give up here, because you're actually capable here with this card of accomplishing it. But here we need to go for it. This is what this card tells us. If we apply the right things, we will go for our dreams. The next card here, it tells us that we need to dispel the fog. Maybe we are, as we saw in the first card here, maybe life is a little bit hazy now. Maybe our personality, it's twisting certain things in our life. And here sometimes we are urged to clear up the confusion here. Maybe we cannot see, or we don't have all the accurate information for going to the path here where we need to go. And this card asks us to clear up the confusion. We need to observe ourselves here. This is the first thing, and we need to inform details. As I said, you cannot bake the pie here if you don't have all the ingredients. So I'm assuming here something is missing. So listen carefully, check out the details. Also, we cannot be too passionate. If we want certain things, we cannot approach them in a passionate way. Especially if others are if you are passionate about other things, others are not necessarily passionate about what you are passionate about. So don't interpret behaviors or words from other people with too much details and too much passion. You need to go your own way. And if some people want to bring you in certain directions, you need to, in a kind way, explain or give them the feeling that this is what you really want. So you need to clearly express your intentions here, not to necessarily to these people, but to, it's like the universe here. We need to explain it to a higher self here and what our intentions are. We cannot be too vague here. So you need to let your higher mind speak for you. This is what we are seeing here. And also breathing in and out, but deeply is and calmly will have a positive effect on you. And if you breathe, think, and approach it in the right way, you will see that the fog or maybe the certain pollutions or the things that prevent you from doing this where you want to go, the path that you want to achieve, it will disappear and you will be able to move on. The next card here, this card tells us to decorate. What does this card mean? Well, it means probably that maybe we don't take care of ourselves too well, or maybe it's a long time we dressed up for going out, that we made ourselves attractive or beautiful, or we were proud on ourselves, the way our body looks here. Sometimes here this could point to certain negative influences, maybe dirty environments. Things are a little bit messy in our life here. It could mean that some negativity here sometimes also is submerging here. So here we need to put things back in order. So open the blinds, clean the drain pipes here. Maybe put another color on the wall if your rooms are too dark here. Change some lighting here. It's like here we need to brighten up the atmosphere here, the place where we are living here. You need to make your home you need to turn the place where you're living into your home. You really need to feel at home. It's very important here that we do so. You need to make it in a cheerful and a festive place where you feel comfortable. It's very important here that we do so. You can add some plants here also, things that you like, things that make you happy, that give you a good feeling here. They could be flowers, but here we are asked here to put everything in order, clean up. If our house is a mess, we need to straighten things out here with this combination. Especially if you notice there are some irregularities in your house and that things are not in order. Anyway, we need to see here also that the spirit, the higher thing that is residing in us, we know it's in us, and everybody knows there's something higher above us. For some, it's a God. For something, it's a spiritual being. Whatever it might be for you, it's something that is guiding us. And if we receive guests at home, we cannot be disrespectful to them. The same applies here on something higher above you here, and we should respect this here. If we invite our friends, we don't invite them in the gutter. So this is what this card tells us here. We should be respectful for the higher self here, and create a kind of peaceful environment that it actually deserves. So make some time here to create a more harmonious sphere, a cheerful atmosphere for yourself and for your higher self. You will see that you feel more happy here. With this kind of action. So offer yourself and your higher spirit the best of these decorations here, and receive your higher self in a positive, clean way. So Cancer, this is all for the stone group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this philosophical spiritual card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you are in financial or in business card readings, you can find them on my channel. And of course, also the classic Lenormand card readings. Anyway, Cancer, I want to thank you for your time. And thank you for your time, of course. And don't forget to subscribe. And thank you for doing so. Bye-bye, Cancer, and see you next time. Hello, Cancer, and welcome to the matches or the fire group for your spiritual, philosophical, and psychological card reading. As your first card here, we see that we cannot take things the wrong way. What does this tell? This card tells us, well, in our life, we build up a certain personality. This is the way that we appear in society. It's our mask, it's who we are, or how people perceive us here. And maybe the ego or the personality that we are developed here, we might be easily insulted here by others. Sometimes also it points that maybe we are mocking others here. This is what we are seeing here. Sometimes also it might be that you think in an annoyed way, how could these people do that to me here? This is all what this card is about. It's like our personality, it turns things into imaginary horrors. It sees things that are not actually there. Sometimes also we are easily offended. And this card tells us here that if we always go into those things and we pay attention to them, it robs us actually of a peace of mind. It brings us in a false state, and these things might persecute us here. But this is actually not where we need to be here. Anyway, we need to understand here that people around us and we ourselves also are guided by certain feelings, and we act and we react here. Sometimes we have impacts on others, sometimes others have impact on us here. And the intention here of this card is that we should maybe loosen up a little bit and not be so easily offended here, because sometimes here it points that these things are more emotional and not really personal. Here, the questions maybe that we need to ask ourselves here is why? Why is this happening? Why did I attract this situation? Do I need to take certain or extract certain lessons from it here? So observe yourself and the way these things persecute you. So pay attention here next time if somebody insults you or certain behaviors come, and try to distance yourself for it. Take it not as a personal affront. Don't interiorize it here. Don't take it as a personal criticism, especially maybe if people are a little bit bitter around you here. Maybe it's possible also that you yourself accumulated a certain bitterness here, and we need to let some things go out of the past. This is what we are seeing here. Excuse me. Sometimes these things, they deprive us from inner peace and peaceful moments here. This is what we are seeing here. We could approach the situation in a different way and try to not feel offended. Just see this as unimportant. Put yourself above it here. This is what we are seeing here. We need to understand here that the ego that you build, they can insult that. But nobody can hurt your deep inner self, the feelings inside you. We all are spiritual beings, and we cannot insult the deeper self here. Here, no matter how others behave here, just drive it away with a smile. If there's certain petty complaints, let go of resentments. Turn your attention here by current situation and just try to focus and try to see which lessons that are beneficial for you and what you can learn from it. Sometimes also this is about self-worth. Maybe here you doubt yourself, you doubt your own worth here, and sometimes we get things back that are not supposed to come back, but we get them here because we are looking for confirmation, affirmation. This is what we are seeing here. Anyway, we need to remember here that our spirit, the deeper self, we are unique. Nothing is the same. So just turn a blind eye towards offensive behaviors of those who cannot see who they really are, and leave your own ego in peace. Let yourself alone. Try to choose for peace, for calmness here. This is what we are seeing here. The next card is a little bit related to it. Mostly it's all in context, the things that we are seeing here. And here this card tells us that we should not be afraid. Sometimes the personality that we have built, Cancer has a panzer, and here we see that sometimes our panzer is very thick. The ego, the personality that we have built here, maybe we are fearful for many things in our life here. The Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon is a very creative and beautiful thing. It's invitations, it's very inviting. It can offer a lot of things. It's the people. But the moon has also a dark side, and the dark side of the moon is fear. But here this card tells us that there is no reason to be afraid of that. There is no reason here. And you should ask yourself here, am I really afraid? And so, of what? So if you reflect a little bit over this and you listen to your deeper mind's response, don't be surprised if actually you're not afraid at all. You're just believing, imagining that you should be afraid, but actually you are not. You are not. Here, your mind is more than ready for a challenge here. This is what we are seeing here with this combination. You actually can handle new challenges that are coming on your way very easy. Anyway, if we see here also that if we pay attention, you will see that your mind is about to guide you to a new adventure, to a new situation here. But we need to be open-minded here and dispel of these fears, smile at them here, because with this card here, we see David and Goliath here, the small person and the giant here. And here we see there is no monster waiting on in the corner, no dragon ready to slay us here. Here, these are more mere shadows on the wall of our imagination. So mostly these are weak things that we are imagining here. And it's like our personality, it tries to cover up the real you here. So get rid of the habit of being afraid here, and go into certain new adventures that are ready for you to come. And here we are urged not to be afraid, especially, and appreciate the fact that our new things are coming to you. Here, the next card, it tells us that it's time also to take a break. Possibly we work very hard, maybe too hard, this card tells us. And this sometimes points that we could have developed an ego or a personality that is never completely satisfied what we are doing, even how hard we work, whatever we create. There's always a feeling of lacking something, and always something more need to be done. But this card actually tells us we need to reconnect with our higher self. We need to take a step back and catch our breath. The breath of life here, we need to find back here, because we are breathing something now, but we are breathing our personality or our ego. We don't breathe actually the breath of life anymore. We have created something, and we are scared maybe that our life is about to fall apart, but actually it's not. It's not at all. You just need to break away here from certain false urges that you created for yourself, or emergencies that we have created. And we need to realign with ourselves again, with the higher vibe that we had before, or maybe a long time ago. Anyway, we need to reconnect here with our mind here. And if you do so, you will see that it's very important now that you reconnect. Here, this card tells us to relax, to breathe. If you are in meditation, meditate. This will allow you to clear your mind, and you need to wait for your feelings, cancerous feelings, intuition. The moon makes us feelings, and you need to wait for the guidance here. You need to wait for the guidance, and you will see here, if you detach yourself from the work, from always being busy, no time for yourself, things will work out in a very inviting order. There will come a certain softness here, and there will come a rest back here. This is what we are seeing here, but we need to catch our breath here. We need to have faith in the higher side of life here. There's something here over you that is in control. So here we are urged, if we do too much overtime, to take control over that side of us and give it a break. So Cancer, this is all for the fire group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical spiritual card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you are interested in business card readings, you can find those also on my channel. If you are interested in the classic Lenormand card readings, these are also available. Anyway, Cancer, I want to thank you for your time. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, and I thank you for doing so. See you next time, Cancer. Bye-bye for now.